Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Liverpool fans, buckle up because today's news is absolute madness. Transfer shocks, dressing room drama, deadline pressure, and one name that changes everything: Xabi Alonso. Liverpool get the green light on a Marc Guehi alternative labeled perfect by Pep Guardiola. Nico Schlotterbeck sets a clear ultimatum as his future update drops. Dominik Szoboszlai faces unfair backlash after a desperate Liverpool defeat. Virgil van Dijk finally speaks on Andy Robertson's potential exit amid Tottenham talks. And the biggest question of all, is Xabi Alonso heading back to Anfield? For breaking Liverpool news, real fan reactions, and deep analysis, this is Reds Fusion LFC. Let's get into it.
Liverpool get approval to sign Marc Guehi alternative, labeled perfect by Pep Guardiola. Liverpool have been told to consider signing a Manchester City player after their hopes of landing Marc Guehi were finally crushed. Liverpool have been urged to approach Manchester City for a defender after missing out on Marc Guehi. City have secured a cut-price $20 million deal for the England defender after the Reds' attempt to sign him in the summer window was thwarted at the 11th hour. Liverpool remain in the market for a centre-back, with Saturday's 3-2 defeat at Bournemouth further highlighting the need to strengthen in the heart of defence. According to former Anfield defender Stefan Henchaz, City's Manuel Akanji, currently on loan at Inter Milan, would be a perfect fit. Akanji joined City from Borussia Dortmund in 2022 and was part of their treble-winning squad in 2023. Upon his arrival, Pep Guardiola lavished praise on the Swiss star, who is also capable of playing at fullback. The movement defensively and offensively, he executes it perfectly, he said. This is a gift for the manager. Some players you have to explain 10 times or train 10 times to show what you were thinking or what you want to do. This guy needed just one training session and he got it. The movement he has to do as a fullback, the high pressing, he didn't train once and he did it perfectly. With the ball, he is a magnificent player. Our build-up should be 3 in the back, and that's why in the position we normally play Kyle or Walker. He was absolutely perfect. Proof again that intelligent people, always it pays off. However, after falling out of favor at the start of this season, Akanji was allowed to join Inter for the rest of the campaign. With his long-term future looking uncertain, Henchaz believes the Reds should take advantage, telling Hyper, Manuel Akanji would be an interesting option for Liverpool. He has proven his ability in the Premier League with Manchester City, despite a slightly difficult last season due to injury. He is 30, which is not old for a centre-back, and he has a good injury record. I have watched him playing for Inter Milan and the Swiss national team since he left City, and he still has the necessary attributes. He possesses everything you want in a center-back: pace, power, intelligence, good reading of the game, and comfort in possession. Crucially, he knows the Premier League, which is a big advantage for a January transfer. When signing a player in the winter window, you need someone who can fit in and perform immediately. Akanji meets those needs. Therefore, if Liverpool cannot secure their first-choice target, Akanji would definitely be an interesting alternative. Akanji has been linked with a return to City this month amid a defensive injury crisis in Guardiola's squad. However, the player himself has firmly shut down that possibility, saying after their Champions League defeat to Arsenal, "No, there was no possibility of me returning to City."
Nico Schlotterbeck sets deadline as Liverpool transfer target gives update. Borussia Dortmund defender Nico Schlotterbeck, who has been linked with a high-profile transfer to Liverpool, has yet to announce the next move in his football career. Nico Schlotterbeck revealed that a deadline is set regarding his next career move, with Liverpool reportedly interested in him. The Borussia Dortmund defender has been a key player for the Bundesliga side since his arrival in 2022, having so far played 146 games for the club while scoring 8 goals. Schlotterbeck, 26, played a starring role in Dortmund's 3-0 away win against Union Berlin on Saturday, as he scored his 3rd goal of the season while contributing to his side's 10th clean sheet of the season. It was after the game that the Germany international opened up about his future.
With his contract set to expire at the end of the 2026-27 season, the defender revealed he'll announce his decision prior to the campaign's end. Schlotterbeck, who has been linked with the move to Liverpool and Bayern Munich for the past year, told Sky Sports Germany, "I've set a personal deadline for myself. I won't say when it is, definitely before the summer though." Despite admitting he feels at home in Dortmund, he said that he remains unsure of the decision he's set to make on whether he continues at the club or seeks pastures new. He added, "I feel comfortable here. It won't be an easy decision. I'm a gut-feeling kind of guy. I'll sit down with Dad and Kevin and then make a decision. I don't quite know right now how it'll turn out." Dortmund's sporting director Sebastian Kehl said before the league resumed earlier this month that negotiations have continued on Schlotterbeck extending his contract. Kehl said, "We're trying to convince him with the power this club has, with the appreciation that he feels, and with what we want to achieve together. We also want to give him a perspective that makes sense for him. But we're not sitting down every day. Things like this need time. He's used the winter break to think things over, but there's no new development yet." Should Schlotterbeck opt to join Liverpool, his arrival would certainly boost the team's struggling backline. The frailties of Arne Slot's defense were on show once again during Liverpool's 3-2 defeat to Bournemouth on Saturday. Virgil van Dijk played a role in all three of the Cherries' goals in what has been a hugely disappointing campaign for the Reds' captain. Speaking after the game, the Dutchman said, "I am very disappointed. Last minute of the game is very tough to take. We worked very hard in the second half to get back in the game, and to concede that late is disappointing."
Dominik Szoboszlai doesn't deserve what happened after latest desperate Liverpool defeat. The verdict from the Vitality Stadium after Liverpool lost 3-2 to Bournemouth despite battling back from 2 goals down, only to throw the game away. As the rest of his teammates trudged off the Vitality Stadium pitch, heads bowed in disappointment, a despondent Dominik Szoboszlai stood motionless, hands on hips, unable to comprehend the climax to this game. He, more than any other in this Liverpool squad, does not really deserve what is happening this season. Eventually ushered off the pitch by Mohamed Salah, it was clear this cut deep for the number 8, and how could it not after another all-action display, once more across multiple positions, yielded nothing. It looked for all the world here that Liverpool were heading for a 5th successive draw of 2026 in the Premier League after Virgil van Dijk's header at the end of the first half had been added to by Szoboszlai's sublime free kick, which was his second of the week. But once more, the Reds' failure to handle the agricultural revolution taking place at the summit of the English game proved their undoing, and a long throw in the 95th minute caused just enough havoc for Amin Adli to profit, making it 3-2 with the final touch of the match. And when the great carve-up of Liverpool's season begins in May, when Arne Slot, his staff and perhaps sporting director Richard Hughes sit down to assess the good, the bad and the ugly of it all, it will be this soft underbelly that will go some way towards explaining how a title defence disintegrated so quickly and why the champions were left with little but a dogfight for the 4th spot in the second half of the campaign. This is a Liverpool team who have demonstrated on more than a handful of occasions this season they don't handle setbacks well, and a chastening period between minutes 26 and 33 here cost them the game. It was a few minutes that they bafflingly attempted to navigate with just 10 men. Having seen Joe Gomez succumb to injury while trying to stop the opening goal from Evanilson, Slot could be seen bellowing at goalkeeper Alisson Becker to put the ball out of play to allow Wataru Endo on the pitch in his place. The visitors, though, carried on and found themselves 2-0 down before the Japan captain was sent on. It was the sort of game mismanagement you wouldn't expect at schoolboy level. To describe the Reds as down to the bare bones now defensively would be an understatement, so another setback for Gomez has come at the worst possible time. It's why there is an understandable questioning of Liverpool's willingness to entertain an approach from Tottenham Hotspur over vice-captain Andy Robertson right now. The Scotland captain was sent on for Milos Kerkez at the break here, and while those at the club might feel duty-bound to honour the wishes of a legendary figure who has given so much, willingly losing another defender would be ridiculous at this stage.
Virgil van Dijk makes Andy Robertson Liverpool exit feelings clear after Tottenham talks continue. Liverpool's skipper Virgil van Dijk was asked about the potential departure of his vice-captain Andy Robertson after the 3-2 defeat at Bournemouth. Virgil van Dijk says he wants Andy Robertson to stay at Liverpool as talks remain ongoing with Tottenham Hotspur over a potential move before the end of the January transfer window. The Reds recognise and respect their vice-captain's decorated service he has given to the club across the past 8.5 years, and it's understood the Scotland captain wants to play regular first-team football ahead of a first World Cup since 1998 for his nation later this year. Club captain Van Dijk says he has spoken with his deputy about the situation and wants to see the long-serving left-back remain on Merseyside for the remainder of the campaign at least. Of course I speak to him. I speak to him every day. He's my vice-captain. Robbo is a very important member of our team, and I want him to stay, but whatever happens, let's see. Do I expect him to be here on Wednesday for the Qarabag game? That's not on me, is it? Let's speak about my best memories of him when a move happens. Van Dijk was speaking after Liverpool's 13-game unbeaten sequence came to an end via a 3-2 defeat at Bournemouth. Amin Adli scored with the last kick of the game after the Reds had responded to goals from Evan Nilsson and Alex Jimenez through the skipper's header and a Dominik Szoboszlai free kick. The setback was a potentially sizable one in their aims of securing a place in next season's Champions League, and Van Dijk admits tiredness played a factor after a 3-0 Champions League win at Marseille earlier in the week. The centre-back added, "What can explain tiredness? What do you think? Last season we did not have many injuries. Look at the last line in the last minutes of the game. That says quite a lot. Tiredness, yeah. Listen, they created chances because we were very open at times. If you then don't make the right decision in possession, you can get counter-attacked. I don't start to worry personally about the top 4 race, but the matter of fact is about what we do in the week. We are trying to find consistency, and we still don't have it. That is something we need to focus on. We played Bournemouth, who are very intense. When we only have myself and Wataru Endo is the last 2, if we lose the ball, then there is a lot of space. We are having a difficult season in terms of ups and downs, but now we have an opportunity on Wednesday to qualify for the top 8 of the Champions League. That is our target, but today is tough to take. It was tough. I'm disappointed. The first goal, I take full responsibility for that, even though it was a very difficult ball to judge. In the second half, we tried to do that."
Xabi Alonso close to Liverpool move amid official talks. The Spanish newspaper AS reported that Liverpool FC has taken its first official steps by contacting representatives of Spanish coach Xabi Alonso to inquire about his willingness to take over the team's management in the coming period. According to the newspaper, Liverpool is seeking to act early to clarify Alonso's position and the possibility of him succeeding the Dutchman Arne Slot. The report indicated that the positive response from the Spanish coach's representatives has helped to ease the atmosphere at Anfield. Officials at the English club are now convinced that the former Real Madrid player is open to the idea of returning to Anfield, which has dispelled doubts surrounding the initial negotiations with the coach who played for Liverpool for 5 seasons. In 2024, Alonso rejected offers to coach Bayern Munich and Liverpool, preferring to stay with Bayer Leverkusen at the time, believing that the timing was not right to leave. Currently, the Spanish coach is calmly and patiently considering the available options, knowing that his potential return to Liverpool would be very well received. Liverpool's management has Xabi Alonso in its future plans, both as a potential signing and as a primary target for the 2026-2027 season, a move that has been met with clear approval from the Spanish coach. Meanwhile, Arne Slot understands that every match represents a real test for him. Despite the club's confirmation that he will remain until the end of the season, this decision carries risks, especially given the lack of cohesion within the team, which has been reflected in inconsistent results. The most recent example was the loss to Bournemouth, managed by Andoni Iraola, despite spending approximately $525 million during the last summer transfer window.